Coming up, we're recapping our highs and lows from our time in the Bahamas. From paperwork to provisions, we're going to break it all down for you, where we got it right and where we went terribly wrong. She's half a century old, and she's taking us on the wildest adventure of our lives. 5 years ago, we chose simple, not easy, experiences, not wealth, human connection, not possessions. Guided by faith, not fear, we can't wait to see where this journey takes us. Hey guys, we're so excited to bring you this episode where we break down our entire stay in the Bahamas. All the things that we did right and the things that we got completely wrong. So let's start out with what we did right. Number 1, see the things. We went back and forth about whether or not it was worth it to brave the crowds to see all the really touristy things in the Bahamas. Thunderball Grotto, the Pig Beach, the Wild Iguanas, Staniel Key Yacht Club, the Mermaid Statue at Ruddercut Key, endless caves and blowholes, Boo Boo Hill in Wardrick Wells, and Mariah Harbor south of Georgetown. In the end, we're so glad we took the time to see these places. There's a reason that people flock to them year after year. They really are fantastic. Having said that, timing is important. We were really careful to plan our visits when the crowds were the lowest. For instance, at the Pig Beach, we went first thing in the morning before any of the tour boats got there. And that really made a difference in our experience. A lot of the places you don't have control over the crowds, and really the more the merrier. We had a great time no matter what. Number 2, do the things. We are so glad that we participated in as many activities as we could, whether that was local Bahamian activities or things planned by the cruisers that we met along the way. We had so much fun attending the church in Black Point. Lots of live rake and scrape music. Junkanoo at Georgetown. Bonfires, paddleboard races, and of course, the local Bahamian food. The third thing we did right is we were social. There were so many people that we met along the way, and we really couldn't have done it without them. We look back and think about all the times that either we helped someone else with a problem,
so we got one boat drifting into another,
or we were helped by someone. Aaron helped us ferry the kids back and forth to the dinghy dock.
This is our neighbor Aaron.
Hey man, how are you?
Beth lent us a car to go drop them off. We had numerous times when we were having the dinghy motor issues, when someone would tow us to the boat or back from the boat. We had clean fuel gifted to us, and that's how we figured out what was really wrong with the motor.
Bad gas.
Over and over again, our connections with other cruisers and with local Bahamians made our experiences that much better. The fourth thing we did right was we got off the beaten path. We really enjoyed our time in the Out Islands so much, especially in the Ragged Islands. Being somewhere that's almost completely uninhabited is a totally different game, and we're so glad we got to experience that.
The fishing was incredible. The beaches are virtually untouched, and there really is true isolation. It's hard to describe exactly what it's like, but it gave us a lot of confidence in our boat systems, and ourselves.
The fifth thing we did right is we picked the right ground tackle. Before we left Galveston, we had a CQR anchor. This anchor is known for not holding very well, so we're so glad that we upgraded to a Mantis before we left. And it's given us the ability to sleep well every night without worrying about the anchor dragging. So now let's talk about what we would have done differently. The first thing we would have done differently is provisioning. I know you've heard us talk about the grocery shopping and how it was such a learning curve for us to figure out how to do it efficiently, and do it cost effectively. That's really tricky in the Bahamas from the get-go because everything is so much more expensive than what we're used to. By the end, we got into a rhythm where we were shopping once a month, and it wasn't too bad. So there's a thing called ship's stores. I knew that we could bring some food into the Bahamas without a problem, but I wasn't really sure how much. So ship stores are any resources, materials, supplies, and food that would be required to maintain the crew and the vessel itself. We could have really packed in a lot more food from Florida, and we wish we did. So next time we head to the Bahamas, it will be with a full fridge and freezer.
We did bring a lot of store-bought canned food and some jars of venison chili, which we had canned ourselves a few years back, that really came in handy on passages when we wanted something quick and easy underway. We skimped on meat and produce because we weren't sure if we were going to be told to throw it out when we arrive. Turns out we could have brought a whole lot more with us, and we really wish we did. The second thing we do differently is I would not be stressing about paperwork. I had so much time and energy invested in our cruising permit and making sure that all of our documents were in order, especially the pet paperwork. And when we got there, it really wasn't a big deal.
We're officially in the Bahamas. I have been stressing like you would not believe. Well, if you know me, you would believe it, how bad I've been stressing about this pet paperwork.
So I'm not in any way saying we should have skipped the paperwork or skipped especially the pet paperwork, but I am saying I should not have been stressing about it. All of the people we met were super nice and accommodating, and we didn't have any troubles at all. So the stress was really unfounded. My mistake was spending 5 minutes online and reading about all the awful things that could happen if all of your paperwork wasn't perfect. They talk about euthanizing your pet. They talk about deporting you and they hold on to your pet. So my mind was going a million miles an hour thinking of all the terrible things that could happen if my paperwork wasn't perfect. And if you saw that episode, turns out they didn't even want to see the paperwork. So I can't guarantee it's going to be like that in every country that we visit going forward, but I'm going to do the paperwork. I'm just not going to stress about it. Third thing we do differently has to do with meeting guests. We had the kids fly into Georgetown for our meetup. Georgetown was the perfect place. There was so much to do, everything was pretty easy access, and we had tons of other cruisers to join in the fun. If I had it to do again, we'd do two things differently with guests. First, we'd have guests fly in with the intention of actually leaving that spot and sailing around. There are so many different islands, and I know you've heard us say this, but each island is so different. And that's one thing we really wish we could have done with the kids, is showed them how different every island is. As it is, they only got to see a couple right around Georgetown. So next time, we'd have them fly in somewhere where we could actually cruise and visit several different islands during their stay. Which brings me to part 2. We would definitely have guests stay a little bit longer. With only a week, we didn't really have time to leave Georgetown and be able to be sure that we could be back in time for their flights. With a 2-week window, we'd have lots more flexibility. The fourth thing we do differently has to do with spare parts. There were several boat items that we brought spares for, but we didn't bring enough spares. So we wish we would have stocked up more, particularly when it comes to the dinghy motor parts. Almost everyone in the Bahamas is using a 2-stroke motor, so finding 4-stroke motor parts is particularly difficult. Add to that the drama of having something shipped from the United States. When it's a boat part, sometimes they flat out won't ship it. If it's coming by boat, no problem. If it's coming by air, they won't ship it. If you find a company that will ship it, now you're paying at least 20% duty on it, as well as a 10% VAT tax because you're in the Bahamas. Lumped in with this category of spare parts, I would add fishing gear. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I wish we would have brought more fishing gear. The barracudas annihilated our stash of lures very early on, and we were down to just a few. So we really wish we had a lot more fishing supplies on board. Occasionally, we'd find a store in the Bahamas that had fishing lures, but they were usually pretty expensive with not a great selection. And the fifth thing that we would do differently. We would spend so much more time in the out islands. Having seen most of the Exumas and seen Cat Island, Long Island, and the Raggeds, we really fell in love with the less populated areas of the Bahamas. And there's several islands that we never visited at all. Next time, we would really love to see the islands of Andros, Eleuthera, and San Salvador. We enjoyed our time in the Exumas, but we really wish we would have been able to spend more time in the Ragged Islands. And I know we're sharing 5 regrets, but we have to share one more with you. And this one's kind of embarrassing. We own our own scuba gear. We have our own tanks, BCDs, regulators, the whole 9 yards. We could have been diving at any time in the Bahamas. And every time we thought about it, we thought, well, the water's only like 15 or 20 feet deep. It's not worth getting that all out. So what ended up happening is we never dove. We carried scuba gear throughout the entire Bahamas chain, and we never got it out. Next time, we're going to San Salvador. That's where the great diving's supposed to be in the Bahamas, and we're going. So there you have it, the ins and outs of our time in the Bahamas. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any other advice or tips, please drop a note in the comments below. Next week, it's a whirlwind of a week in Luperon, Dominican Republic. We manage a small catastrophe on our way into the harbor.
We had a tough day yesterday.
Yesterday was difficult.
The sheet got around the Starlink and popped it off.
Sent it airborne. That was $63 in one stop, $25 at the other stop.
Take a ride through the countryside and explore 27 charcos. And then head to Samaná and get ready for our passage to Puerto Rico.
We've been advised to just avoid that area altogether.
Like the video? Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Patreon. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up with all of our adventures.
Hey guys, we're so excited to bring you this episode. We're going to break down our whole stay in the Bahamas. You can't sit there.
So I got back to the dinghy first, went to the liquor store because James went here, and I bought a beer and a Cuba Libre for me. And then I got to back to the dinghy, and James was here. And what did you do, dear?
I bought you a beer and a Goomba Smash
And this,
because it has more sugar
the
in it.
Goombay Smash. It's the, I don't know. I think this is a Bahamian drink, right? The Goombay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pure sugar. It's delicious.